All right, let's get going. Welcome, Thunderbird Nation, to the Thunderbird Coaches Show. I'm your host, Spencer McLaughlin, inside the wonderful Cafe Sabor. As always, thank you all for being here tonight on a Monday, post-double victory for the Thunderbirds. The best types of coaches shows. Of course, I'm joined by head coach Rob Jeter. Rock Lee is our student athlete today as well. Coach, let's dive into those games on Thursday and Saturday. I want to do Saturday first because I feel like there's actually less to talk
so you're going
about.
Backwards.
Yeah,
most recent.
We're going
to
go backwards first. So Abilene Christian, maybe one of your most complete games as a team this season, 74-52.
Right.
The final score. Talk about your team's performance in that game and what went right.
Well, I'm watching the game, and what I actually said was Abilene Christian looked like we looked in some games, right, where we started off well, we're hanging in there, and then there's like a 4 to 5 minute stretch, 6 minute stretch where things kind of got away from us, and it seemed to be the same thing for them. You know, we came out and they were hanging with us, and I think the difference for us was that we felt a lot more confident that you get that first win, how it can snowball, and we didn't really rattle. We just, okay, that's the next play. Let's keep moving on. But you can tell at a point there where it didn't really matter what was going well for us or bad for us. We just kind of seemed to be in the moment. That's what it looked like for me on the sideline. And I've been waiting for that to happen all season. Not one of those where, okay, we're up 12, like, okay, what's going to happen next? You know, just kind of let's move to the next play. Okay, all right, that one was good or that one was bad. I know we're ready for the next sequence of plays, and that's what it felt like against Abilene Christian.
Rock, talk about that game from a player's standpoint off the wild one on Thursday, which we'll definitely dive into and recap because it was so much fun. But what did you feel like clicked for you guys in that locker room for that Wildcats matchup, which is a good, talented team?
Well, first, we got that first win, like you said, Thursday, and we want to keep the train going. So we felt like we locked in defensively on the two main guys who we were focused on, especially in practice before and on scout. So we just kept staying locked in, listening to what Coach said, and then we was hitting shots, and we felt comfortable because we home.
What do you guys feel like right now it is really starting to click as you go through your longest stretch of playing home games?
Well, I feel like we just understand each other more. You know, playing a lot of games, we're getting comfortable with everyone, knowing everyone's tendencies, what everybody likes the ball, what everybody likes to do. And, you know, we just want to do everything the way Coach wants.
What's that been like as a player? You guys, you know, before the season started, couldn't really have known each other, right? Because you all came from different places, from different prior schools. Do you feel like you're at the point where you guys are really connected in there and playing together?
Of course, because we not only just on the court are we together, off the court we hang out. So, you know, that's the best way to build chemistry on and off the court.
Coach, talk about the defensive performance. You always tell me in our interview each week that's the biggest key to getting a victory. 52 points in a conference game to a team that can definitely score the basketball in a big way. What was working at that end of the floor?
Well, we were connected. Obviously, with some of their personnel, key personnel, we have to take away their tendencies. So we call it KYP, know your personnel. And I thought we did a nice job of understanding that, staying focused, staying on that, and keeping the ball out of those areas where they can really score. And Hubbard, it starts with him. He can really bully you around the basket. He'll step off and shoot some threes. Right now, he's in a shooting slump. So we were trying to play his drive more and try to contain him. Thought we did a nice job with that. Smith, is the first line of attack. He's going to shoot off of those on the other side of the ball screen. So we wanted to kind of switch some things and make him shoot over the 5-man rather than a guard trying to get back in front. So the guys did a nice job of really listening to the game plan and try to keep them from feeling good early. And I thought they did a nice job.
At the offensive end of the floor in that game, 74 points. Talk about that 70-point threshold at both ends. What did you feel like was working in that game for you?
Yeah, I say it all the time. First one to 70 in college usually wins a game. Now, it's been pushed up to about 80 this season. Everyone is scoring. But it's all about getting good shots. And we talk about all the time. Like, we want inside-out threes. We want skip passes for three. We want shots at the rim. We want to be able to share the basketball, one more pass. Those shots seem to go in, and it gets everyone excited. So it keeps your teammates involved. And we're doing a much better job of allowing guys, at least for me as a coach, I'm allowing guys to play to their strengths. Not getting so excited about some of the mistakes that they make, because now we do understand each other a little bit better, and that's the key. Once you understand, then you can allow things to happen, and you seem to have a tendency to self-correct. I think we're doing a better job of that. But on the offensive end, we're making last night or 2 nights ago, we turned our defense into offense. That always helps us. So we're doing a better job of taking the right types of shots, and we're getting really key production from guys like this off the bench. That's what you got to have.
You talked about the three-point shooting. Rock, your shot from beyond the arc has really started to heat up over the last couple of weeks. What do you feel like is clicking from outside for you right now?
Man, just repetition. Staying in the gym. Like, I believe in myself. I believe in my shots. I know Coach believes in my shots, so I just keep shooting. I know I prepared for it.
Coach, how important were those 2 wins with where you guys were at last week against those Texas schools?
Yeah, we were down on our back looking up at the lights. We were out. I'm not gonna lie, we were like that. But I had said, like, when we had played Washington, we had played Oregon State back in our early part of our schedule, I felt as though we were ready to win some games at that time. It was just unfortunate that we're on the road in those types of venues, right? And we didn't have a chance to play enough of the Robert Morris, the Stetsons, and teams more like us. RGV, they caught us right away out of the gates. They shot it well. Okay, that's the second game of the year. Okay, you kind of take those lessons and move on. But as we moved on, I thought we were getting better, but we're just in some tough spaces. Okay, now we're in Gonzaga. Okay, let's pull a rabbit out of your hat there, right? And I felt as if we could have had some games later, we could have maybe picked up more momentum than we were. So I was just hoping these guys weren't buried. We talked about being planted and buried. I was just hoping we weren't buried. And for us to get that game, the way we got it, was probably the best way for us to kind of springboard out of there. Out of overtime, 106 to 105. It wasn't a 52-54 type game, so I thought it was great.
When it comes to smiles, Thunderbird fans know who to trust. Webster Orthodontics, the preferred orthodontist of SUU Athletics. They're the reason Thor the Thunderbird has that beautiful game day grin, and they can do the same for you. Whether it's braces or Invisalign, Webster Ortho provides personalized care and outstanding results. Proudly supporting SUU Athletics and our community. Visit WebsterSmiles.com today to schedule your consultation. Webster Orthodontics. Show off that Thunderbird smile.
Yeah, I do want to go back and go through that game because it was such a thrilling win. I'm sure many of you were at that game. It was just a wild and awesome college basketball game. When you're on the sideline, Coach, and obviously there are questionable calls going in every direction in that sort of game, and you got to ride the highs of it and then get back into the next play. How do you as a head coach, obviously you've done this for a very long time, keep yourself focused on what's most important when you've got such an opportunity there to win a game at home that's going up and down the court like that?
Well, it's difficult. I'm not going to lie, because you want to react to some of the calls, but then you have to get back to control what you can control. And the only thing that I can really control after a call is made is trying to plant a seed for the next call, but more importantly, stay in tune with these guys. So that's what I've been trying to do.
Rock, go back to that Thursday game against Tarleton from your vantage point. Just a knockdown, drag-out, 45-minute battle in the AFEC. What did it take for you guys to really hold yourselves together and get that done?
I really think it was our composure. Like, we stayed together. Nobody broke, cracked, folded. Despite what the refs were doing, what the refs were calling, we stayed together and we just had that grit. That's why I just believe what got us over the top.
It gets to a point, Coach, in that game where 1 second is on the clock, and there was the clock issue, so maybe it was tenths of a second, who knows, but 1 second.
Yeah, Kai tipped that ball. That ball should not have. I don't know how you got a full second out of that, but sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. That's okay. It's a good note to put it there. But 1 second is on the clock. You guys are one stop from the win, and then they throw the lob play. Jaden commits the foul, which from my vantage point looked like it was probably a foul. But Cam McDowell steps up to the foul line, a 93% free throw shooter. And what I want to emphasize in that moment was the crowd, because that was the loudest that they were the entire night. How important is it to have great fan support to win a game like that?
It is really important. And I think the one person that was in the arena that's never been in the arena, who's like a lucky charm I've sat next to him for all of my college career and most of my assistant career. And I watched this man. We would win games when it was, I don't know how we won that game. So it has to be him.
Yeah.
So Coach Ryan was in attendance. So I'm sitting there looking at these free throws. I'm like, because we had a game where I was a player. We had a kid that he was leading the nation in free throw percentage. He missed 3 front ends of 1-on-1s, and that was the game for us to clinch a conference championship. So I'm just sitting here, and I'm looking across at the white-haired guy that was sitting over there with a hat on now because his hair is kind of receding a little bit. I'm like, he's got to miss both of these. Well, he made one of them, so I guess we had some more work to do.
When you're in that moment and you're one stop away, and then all of a sudden you got to play 5 more minutes of basketball, how do you talk to your team in the huddle to get them ready to just start over and say, all right, you got 5 minutes to go win a basketball game?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to the officials first because I wanted to get that out of the way, but I kind of let that go. But really for us is we've been in so many of these tough situations that, I mean, I don't know if anything can phase us, rattle us, or really tear us apart at this point. Now it's about, can we accept it? Can we figure out and stay in tune to what's next? And they did a nice job of that. So we just talked about what's next, and they did a heck of a job of getting locked in.
Rock, I mentioned your three-point shooting earlier, but there are a couple of other really good shooters that you play alongside in Tanner Hayhurst and Dylan Jones. Where do you feel like this offense is at with a number of different ways you guys can score the basketball?
Man, this offense is really versatile. Like, everybody can shoot, everybody can play make, everybody can drive, everybody has specific talents that work for our team. So, especially like with Dylan and Tanner, like, those probably one of the best shooters I've ever played with on the team. And I know Dylan previous from my last school, so I already knew what was coming into it this year. So it really wasn't a surprise for me.
Did you play against him at your previous school?
Yeah.
So when you realized, go through that process a little bit, that you guys were going to be on the same team, what were you thinking about?
I was surprised because I wasn't expecting it. And then when I got here and then I seen him, I was like, oh, wait, yeah. He's like, you. It was just we clicked instantly. And I already knew what type of player he was, so it kind of meshed, like, kind of quickly.
That's awesome. From a player's standpoint, going into that overtime, you're watching the free throws, and all you can do at that point is just hope. You guys get the chance. You go to overtime. But when you're actually out there on the court, how do you recenter your mental focus to lock back in and play 5 minutes of good basketball to win the game?
I just try to focus on the play that's going on, not focus on the last play, regardless of what happened. Just stay within the present, not get too caught up in the crowd because that crowd was pretty rocking that night. Yeah. So, I just try to keep my composure and stay with that.
Yeah, it's fun to play in that kind of environment, isn't it? Coach, how fun was it to be in that locker room on Thursday night?
Oh, it was fun. And it was I think it was Cowboy night or Western night.
Yeah.
I think I stole someone's cowboy hat and came in.
Where'd you get you came over to do the post-game interview with me, and you had the big one that the headset wasn't going to fit over. Where did that one come from?
Well, that was Parker's hat, and his head is much larger than mine, so it didn't really fit. So I had to take it off for that segment.
Gosh, Coach, I did want to work in our Pizza Hut, Pizza My Mind question today, and this is a great one. I'll throw it to both of you. Coach, we'll start with you. Do you have any pregame rituals or routines that you do before every single game?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah. We do. We do as a staff, but I can't tell you.
Okay.
I can't tell you what it is. Other than that, I try not to get into too many of these different things, and I don't know. I don't. You can get consumed with those. So I try to make sure I do different things. But we do a little thing that we do with our staff before we go on the court. I got that from my coach, so I kind of keep the tradition.
Rock, do you have any?
Not too much. Not really. I just like to listen to music, a lot of music specifically that day because it kind of helps center me.
Awesome.
He's a Rod Wave guy. That's what I heard, Rod Wave. I don't know what kind of music that is.
Coach, any final thoughts on the last 2 home games before we get ready to talk about Utah Valley on Wednesday?
We need that same energy on Wednesday. So we need people to come back. We need the fans to be there. And I think, what's nice about and what's special about this place is that, we put together 2 games. It felt like 20, the way the fans have responded, the way people have stopped and said, hey, that was a great game. It's almost like, okay, everyone, again, is in the moment with us, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I walked into a store on Saturday, just a random store, and someone said, hey, you call the games, right? I said, yeah. They said, that was an amazing game on Thursday, wasn't it? I said, yeah, that was a wild one. So I think word was definitely getting around about that. But Well, that sets the stage, those 2 straight wins, for what should be an awesome game, a great challenge on Wednesday with Utah Valley coming to town. The in-state matchups, always really, really fun.
Yeah.
Your early impressions of the Wolverines?
Wow, they are very disciplined. They win games. 1, they're very confident. 2, they just don't make a lot of mistakes. They really believe in their system. Obviously, they have the really good personnel. But they just wear you down, and they just wait for you to make the mistake and then capitalize on that. So in order for us to have a chance, we have to make sure that we don't break down first. Can we get them to break down? And they've shown they've done it, but it might be 1 every 4 or 5 games. And that's what I respect a lot about their program, is that they're very consistent. They always play together. They're connected. So we have to figure out a way to rattle them a little bit. We got to figure out a way to see if we can be the more disciplined team on the court. And we have talent to match up with them. I think our issue has always been, can we stay feeling good? Can we move on to the next play? And if we can keep that type of mentality, stay good, stay feeling good, move on to the next play, stay disciplined, we'll have a chance.
It's a program that was in the WAC tournament championship game a year ago. A couple guys back, Jackson Holcomb, Trevon Leonhardt at the guard and forward position. I mean, Holcomb's kind of a do-it-all sort of guy. Leonhardt's one of the best assist men in the country. Those 2 guys specifically, what makes them a tough challenge for your defense?
They make the right decision. They make the right play a lot of times. So it starts with Holcomb. I mean, he's going to attack, get downhill. He can finish. He's not a great three-point shooter, but no one still can stop him. He's still going to score 18 a game. A lot of that is because he's just tough. He's disciplined. He gets extra opportunities on offensive rebounds. He attacks the rim, so he gets extra shots at the free throw line. He's just really an intelligent basketball player. And then you have Lionheart at the point guard position. He's starting to shoot the ball more. His three-point percentage is going up, so now you have to play him honest. But he gets downhill and he shares the basketball. I think the next person that comes to mind is Welling, Hayden Welling. He is a very, very, very aggressive. Doesn't matter what his percentages say. When he catches the ball, he's going to shoot it, and he's making them. So they have a lot of pieces. And, of course, Hendricks from behind the arc, like 12 to 14 a game. He's deadly from there. So they have really good personnel. We just have to make sure that we know KYP, know our personnel, and now we have to make them on the other end defend us. I think those are the keys.
Rock, you guys played them once earlier this year up in Orem, 89-72. The final Wolverines came out on top in that game. What do you think has changed the most on Wednesday to get a Thunderbirds win?
I feel like we're more disciplined, and that's the key to that game is like who's going to be the most disciplined team, who's going to make the most mistakes. And I believe the way we are now, and after we already played them one time, and we've seen like what they do in their tendencies, and we know what we have to do to win that game, specifically against that team.
And, Coach, this first of 3 matchups, of course, they will be inside the AFEC, I believe, in early March, later in the conference schedule again. But what are the keys when you go into a rematch like this, when obviously you've had a chance to see them, but they've had a chance to see you as well? How does that chess match play out for you as a coaching staff?
Yeah, you're trying to figure out, okay, things that worked for us the first time. So you want to test that. Okay, are they going to do something different? All right, what's the adjustments they're going to make? Then you're looking at some of the actions that hurt us. How can we take some of those things away? So on both sides, you're going to see us go to our strengths and see if those things continue to work. What's the adjustment that's going to be made? And then now we have to readjust. So it's going to be a few of those chess moves early. And then, of course, you got to expect some new plays, some new actions, some different wrinkles that you haven't seen. And then we're hoping that we can continue to get more contribution off the bench. And who's going to step up? Like, Rock's been shooting the ball well. He's been setting up his game from behind the arc. Okay, the first time, I think they were more planning for the drive. So now we can open the floor up more and get into places and make them in the help and recovers. That helps us. But then can we get Kai? Can we move him into that off the bench? Lorenzo, because our starting 5 is our starting 5 right now, but we do have weapons off the bench. So I think as we move deeper into this conference season, can we get others to come in and have those big nights?
I want to talk about Lorenzo Abelar for just a moment. Every time he steps on the floor, he's the smallest guy on the court. But
Don't tell him that. He doesn't think that. He thinks he's
Rock, is that true? Is he inflating his own height a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when he gets out there, the word that keeps coming to mind for me when I watch him play is toughness. And I think that was on display in the Tarleton game. He was taking a beating, just shot after shot from McDowell or Johnson. A lot was giving him a lot of shots in that game. What is it about him that lets him just pop back up, get on to the next play, and do whatever is needed to win?
Well, he's been that size for a long time, right? So again, he's used to taking some of those hits. I think he's confident in what he does. Again, we're talking about understanding each other and understanding roles. He knows what his role is, and he's accepted that. But he's just resilient, and I think that's because he's had to get to this point the tough way, the hard way. And I think now that he's here, he's really embracing it, and he's continuing to kind of use his strengths, and that is being disruptive, being all over the floor, being energetic. And it's just good to see. I'm happy for him.
Rock, what is it like to go against him in practice?
Man, it's actually fun because we go against each other a lot, like off the court, like in a lot of just competing ways.
In basketball, right?
No, like it could be playing on the game or it's just like, oh, wait, no, I didn't know what you meant by that. Like, it's just like we compete a lot. Like we play a lot of one-on-one. He's real tough. He's real competitive, and for that size, it's like you would think he's 6'5". So it's really fun.
Which is how tall you are, right? 6'5", roughly.
6'6",
6'4" and a half.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Coach, any final thoughts on the Utah Valley game, which, just as a reminder, everybody, is on Wednesday, not Thursday, because you guys are on the road on Saturday.
Well, we have a chance to do something really special. We have a special opportunity. We're playing the #1 team in our league, the defending champs. We have a chance to have a 3-game winning streak. I mean, this is a special opportunity. So I'm hoping that the arena, the fans can come out and witness this and help us to a victory.
Ernie's is more than just a gas stop. It's your one-stop spot for fuel, fresh food, and friendly service. With locations across southern Utah, including one right here in Cedar City, Ernie's makes it easy to fill up and fuel up. Don't forget, Ernie's is home of the world-famous chicken strips, a local favorite that keeps fans coming back. Proudly supporting SUU athletics and proudly serving our community. Stop by Ernie's in Cedar City today.
Rock, are you ready for the Visit Cedar City Brian Head Student Spotlight, where we ask every single question in your direction here? You ready?
Yes.
Okay, start with your name, hometown, major, what you want to do after school, and then we'll go from there.
Name, Jalen Rock Lee from Atlanta, Georgia. And after school, I'm planning to be a professional basketball player.
Where would perhaps you want to play?
To be honest, anywhere. Anywhere would be a blessing.
That's awesome. Where does the Rock nickname come from for you?
My dad gave it to me when I was like around 4 or 5. It's like a meaning behind it because a rock is a solid object that can't be broken. And I've been put through a lot, and I've just never cracked.
That's awesome. That
means he has a hard head. Translation. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Other than Cafe Sabor, obviously this is your first year in Cedar City. Where are some of your other favorite places to eat in town, and what else do you like to do in town besides playing basketball?
To eat in town, I like to go to Central Pizza. I'm a big pizza guy.
You and me both.
Yeah,
you and me both. Big pizza
guy.
over here.
I'm gonna be visiting that new Wingstop real soon. So
nice.
That's about it. But outside of Cedar, we bowl with the team sometimes. I became a little bit of a bowler, hang around with some of my teammates in the movie theaters.
As I understand it, there are a couple guys on the team that have got a little bit of skill in the bowling realm. Who are they, and are they teaching you?
Kai, Jaden, Ice, and Kale.
Who's got the Ice nickname? Why didn't I know that?
Isaiah Gottrell. He this is just in first part of his name.
Gotcha.
It's just easier to call him.
Gotcha. Talk about your journey to get to Southern Utah, where you went out of high school and how you wound up being here in Cedar City as a kid from Atlanta.
Out of high school, I went to Long Island University in Brooklyn, New York. And from there, actually a mutual friend that knows Coach Jeter he kind of helped me put me in this position. He said he recommended Coach Jeter right after I entered the portal, and I came up here and I love everything about him and everything about Cedar.
So he'll be back next year. That's what he's telling you. He'll be back. That's what he said. No.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What is it like to be a student athlete in this world where you guys can basically do anything every single year?
Yeah.
It's a lie. Everybody thinks it's like kind of one way in their own mind, but you don't really know what you're in until you're in it. And it's a lot of responsibility because even though you're technically grown, you're a grown adult and you're on your own, you still got responsibilities. You got to keep the main thing is stay focused.
What's been your favorite part about coming here to Cedar City?
The mountains, like the view.
Yeah.
Like I loved it. I loved it when we hiked. We hiked early in the summer to the sea. So it's like that view. I just love the scenery.
Yeah, a little bit different than the scenery you have in New York. Weather's a little bit different than you have in New York. A buddy of mine that lives there texted me today, said it's 6 degrees, or it's going to get down to 6 degrees. Not that it can't necessarily do that here. I think it's just better to look at those gorgeous mountains out there while you're doing that. But anything else about the community playing basketball here that's really stood out in your time as a Thunderbird so far?
I love how the community, everybody's just together. Like, everybody supports everybody. It's just like we're like one big family, one big team. That's what it feels like to me.
What's a goal you have for yourself and for the team going forward the rest of the season?
Obviously, conference championship, and I say really to play in a big dance and to really like make some noise, like really surprise some people. That's one thing Coach always says is like he feels like we could shock some people, and I've been felt that way since day one.
That's awesome. We always wrap the show with the ability to do some shout-outs. So, Coach, you can go first. Anybody and everybody that you want to shout out to wrap today's Coach's Show?
Well, we got it. Well, MLK Day, right? So we have to make sure that we give that shout-out. That is something, especially now that we have to make sure we keep right out in front, that we continue to figure out a way to come together. I think that's the first one. Yeah, of course, I'm going to go with Mom this time. You know, I haven't seen Mom in a little bit since Christmas time, and make sure I give a shout-out there. But the final piece of this is the fans. We got to get the fans there Wednesday, so I can't, you know, if I have one more opportunity to get people in those seats Wednesday, let's get you there. Let's get everybody to the game. So
awesome. Rock, anybody you want to shout out to wrap today's show?
Yes, shout out my parents, my mom, my dad, and shout out God, and just shout out to the people here in Cedar City, man. I love y'all.
Awesome. Rob Jeter and Rockley, everybody, that is it for the Coach's Show today. Thank you all for being here to support Inside Cafe Sabor. I'm Spencer McLaughlin. We'll see you next time. Until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.